Hello, my name is Ashley Jones and you're watching Connected. Our features today are the Brisbane Star Trek and Sci-Fi Alliance, big shows in town, and indie folk band The Winter of Reason. We also have a special feature on the RSPCA. We went out on location and spoke with Michael Beattie. But first we'll be talking with Bruce Dinsdale, Game Development Manager of Football Queensland. Welcome. How are you, Bruce?
Morning, Ashley. I'm well, thanks.
Now, in terms of the actual code of soccer, it seems to somewhat get a little left behind with football more generally. How do you see where soccer sits today?
Well, that's right. Generally in the mainstream media and in that consciousness, they get left behind, but certainly football, soccer is the biggest participation sport in the country, and certainly here in Queensland as well. So we have a lot of people who participate and play in the game, but probably don't get the media or the commercial support that maybe we would like to see.
So what's the day-to-day role for you?
Our job, Football Queensland's job, is to obviously we oversee the administration and the governance of the game here in Queensland under normally direction from Football Australia, and we look after a number of other zones who look after the actual specific games and the competitions that you see played every week in, week out. So.
And it's so popular, isn't it? I mean, we still see, I guess there's the church leagues that still operate very strongly, the schools. Where else are you drawing and seeing young people getting involved?
Oh, well, that's certainly right. In Australia, there's about 400,000 registered players, but the Sports Commission and the Bureau of Statistics say there's about 1.6 million that actually play. So they play in all sorts of leagues, social competitions, seven-a-side competitions. We have a lot now participating in futsal, and school soccer, school sport is a very, very popular uptake of the game as well now, besides our regulated competitions.
And futsal certainly came in, they were in toward the end of the 90s, I think?
It is. It's a modified version of the game, obviously. Sort of in Queensland, it obviously is reasonably popular, gets you out of the heat, and it's played on an indoor surface with small numbers, and so it's sort of a game that can be modified easily to suit your environment rather than a big field and need grass and need good weather.
Now, of course, with all of the sporting options that are available to somebody to get into, why do you say that people should get involved with soccer?
Oh, we think that obviously we offer a number of advantages. I mean, like our basic core responsibility is to try and get kids being active. We would rather kids be active and be doing something than doing nothing. Obviously, it leads to a number of sort of healthy outcomes in our society, but just generally play. We offer football as a game that can be played by males and females. And obviously we have a number of modified versions of the game that you can start at under 4s and under 5s and just learn the really basic skills of how to play and just go out and have an awful lot of fun. To you can become a professional footballer if you're that good and that way inclined, and could probably make a living out of it eventually.
And does it actually help to develop team practice?
Absolutely. We are obviously Football Queensland and Football Australia is pretty much a club-based type of sport system, like most of the other field sports. It encourages people in the community to get together, and obviously, we push the fact that kids go and learn to play, meet new friends. It's not just necessarily the kids they go to school with, it's a lot of other people, very much mixed cultures. We promote that idea, and a club creates that very much a local and an atmosphere that we always encourage.
I guess the landscape has changed a lot, because we've known the old local clubs that sort of battled along and did their own thing. Councils now have sports development officers and councillors that take that on as a portfolio. That must be a big plus to you to have that happening.
Absolutely. I mean, up till now, we've always relied on volunteers to run clubs, and most people have probably had some association with a club, whether they're young or often relies on your parents maybe running the club, and obviously when they move on, they expect the next generation to take over. But yeah, you're right. Councils now are getting heavily involved in setting up multi-sports clubs, where the local community, the local hub, can create, a facility that then provides a number of other options rather than necessarily just football or just one or two specific projects.
So someone watching now, can they contact you as an organisation to find out where their local club is, or what else can they access?
Well, there's a number of different ways of doing it. The best way would be to go to our website, footballqueensland.com.au, and in there's a find a club, which typical of the website searches, you just type in that you want to find a club at Springfield, or you want to find it at Townsville, and it'll probably send you out a number, 8 or 9 options to find your nearest local club.
Sure. Now, you played football yourself as a kid. Is that in your blood?
Yeah, it is. My dad probably put into me and took me when I was probably 4 or 5 down to play football at the local club, and I played for that club pretty much all my life, and sort of went into management after that and became a full-time football administrator. So yeah, you could say it's in my blood, and I love it. So
haven't left it yet. Well, all the very best, and trust that it'll continue to grow and grow.
No problem. Thank you,
Thanks
Ashley.
very much, Bruce. That was Bruce Dinsdale from Football Queensland, and thanks to him for speaking to us on the program. A lot more information, the link is up on the screen there for you now. Coming up next, our visit to the RSPCA.
The RSPCA or RSPCA Queensland moved here from Fairfield just over a year ago. This was originally the old John Oxley Youth Detention Centre, and rather than just tear the whole site down, which was given to us by the government, we actually kept the shell and then rebuilt around that shell. And when you go inside, you'll see some of the offices are still the original cells. Altogether, RSPCA Queensland looks after over 45,000 animals that come through our 9 shelters every year. We have over 2,000 volunteers and over 250 part and full-time staff. So it really is, it's a big organisation now with a lot of responsibilities. Obviously the motto for the RSPCA is all creatures great and small, which is true for all of the RSPCAs in every state. But at RSPCA Queensland we've got a separate mission statement, and that is helping animals, enlightening people and changing lives. Now of course when we're talking about changing lives, we're not just talking about the changing of the lives of the animals, we're also talking about the changing the lives of the people as well, because animals can help change people's lives as well as vice versa. So that's really very important. Well, it costs RSPCA Queensland just under $39 million annually to run its operations in Queensland, which, to be honest, is a lot of money. Now, we receive just under 1% of that in actual government funding. Well, actually, we receive about $187,000 in government funding. The rest basically comes from you, the general public. We raise money from bequests, obviously, people that leave us money in their will. We also raise money from different fundraising events during the year, such as Million Paws Walk, Cupcake Day, and then we have a World for Pets superstore. And each of the shelters has a World for Pets component in there where you can buy products for your animals. We have what we call a Pets in Crisis program, where we look after the animals of people who've had to flee domestic violence situations. We look after their animals until they can get settled. In terms of native wildlife, here at Wacol we've actually got a dedicated wildlife hospital, and we're looking at receiving or passing through close to 15,000 native animals annually, which is a huge amount.
My name's Tanya Bishop. I'm one of the senior vets here at the RSPCA Wildlife Hospital. This is Ouch. He's an echidna that came in via our ambulance. He was hit by a car and then was unfortunate enough to be attacked by a dog straight afterwards. So not only had he lost a lot of spines, but he had a lot of nails ripped out, and he had a very nasty puncture wound. So we've had to do surgery on him. I've always worked with wildlife since I graduated. Working with wildlife's why I became a vet in the first place. So I've been out of uni now for about 14 years. So I knew the RSPCA had started up a new wildlife hospital that was doing good work, and I was interested to be a part of it.
I think there's always been this misconception that the RSPCA has a time limit when it comes to animals, how long animals stay in our care until they're actually put down, put to sleep, or euthanized, whatever you want to call it. Well, basically that's just simply not the case. When an adult dog comes into us, if it passes the veterinary check and the behavioural test, it basically stays with us until we can rehome it. We'd really like to thank you in advance for all your support. As I have said before, really the RSPCA in Queensland simply couldn't keep going without public support. We rely on you for well over 98% of the funds we need to operate. And if you would like to help, don't forget you can always sign on as a volunteer, and you can find all the details about how either to join as a volunteer or donate money directly simply by going to our website rspcaqld.org.au. And as I said before, thanks in advance.
Welcome back. Oh, sorry, I better take that away. Welcome back. Joining us is the Brisbane Star Trek and Sci-Fi Alliance. For those unfamiliar with the Trekkie universe, Star Trek followed the adventures of the Starship Enterprise on its 5-year mission to boldly go where no man has gone before. And after 40 years on air, the show remains as much a loved classic. The group met each month to enjoy and discuss the expansive worlds of Star Trek and other sci-fi. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
How are you?
G'day.
So we've got Tracy. That'll be enough from you, Clayton. We've got Clayton, Billy and Tracy. Thanks very much for joining us. And better known as Morph. Now, Billy, I want to know, why would you want to get into sci-fi? What is it you love so much about it?
Well, I love the concept of it. I love the stories, and I love spaceships because I build my own spaceships and that. I've always loved it ever since I was a kid. Just got wrapped. It gets me sort of out of this real world into another world, you know.
Yep. So there's a little bit of escapism that happens in there.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know.
And before I come to Morph, I just want to come back through to Tracy. Billy, will ask you. So Tracy, away from the sci-fi world, what is it that you do as a day-to-day job?
Well, I have 2 jobs. I do 2 things. I'm a professional embroiderer, so I run my own small embroidery business. And I also work part-time for Partec, which is a plastics training institute.
Well, that's handy.
Yes, it is, when we're talking about weaponry and props. We actually call them props because the students can't be involved in the making of any weapons at all. So, yeah, so they do props.
Okay. And what about you, Billy?
I'm a sculptor. I sculpture things out of clay and that, and I paint as well. I do sci-fi, I do landscapes, you name it, I do it. Just paint it, yeah. I've been painting all my life and drawing, yeah.
And Morph.
No.
Hang on a minute. And you're a chef.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. There you go. Klingon, I've got it all nailed. Hey, look, you've got some fantastic things here. Let's just go through some of them really. Of course, I'm sure that this one is a real popular. And
Yes, Doctor Who is a very big part of our club. We all love Doctor Who.
Yes. So we've got the Doctor Who items here. And then
Actually, one of our members has a full-size Dalek.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just finished painting it on the weekend. He's black and white, black beauty, black and silver Dalek.
Camera back down then to the items we've got down here.
Yeah, that's the Klingon.
That's the Klingon blood wine cup.
Blood wine cup.
Every house needs one of those.
Absolutely, and that's from Star Trek: The Experience in Las Vegas.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So then over
And that's
here
a
to
Klingon
this-
goblet.
Yep. Okay. And then across, if we can get down onto this little unit down the bottom here. Billy, I understand you made this?
Yeah, I made them out. I make them out of Alcala cornflakes packets and wheat bix packets.
So you just
So
turn
I
that
call
around.
them, cereal wars.
Yes.
The drawings I've done, you know, I always doing sci-fi drawings and that, and some for the club and that. But sometimes I like them that much, I'll build them. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you use your own natural talents.
Yeah, imagination. I just put it together, and I like it. If I like the drawing, I'll make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this one here, mate. It's a big one. That one took me about 8 weeks to make that one.
Wow.
It took me about 5 Kellogg cornflake packets.
It's a lot of cereal to be digested.
Yes,
eh?
it is, mate, yeah.
And so in your hand, what's...
That's a phaser. That was in the last movie, Star Trek.
Yep.
And the one down here is a phaser from the old original Star Trek.
So now, in terms of sci-fi, we know it's very popular in terms of people watching movies and people wanting to get involved. Do they also go to the point that you are in terms of getting into costume and be part of this club?
Yeah.
Supernova is a very big
Yeah,
part of our
Supernova's
calendar.
very big.
Okay,
The
yes.
club calendar, Supernova, is a very big thing. And we're working on our, like I said, our outfits.
Yes.
There are 4 of us working on this particular outfit
Yeah,
at the moment.
Federation.
So if Supernova have another parade, At Supernova in April, there was a parade down Gold Coast through Broadbeach Mall,
Yes.
where us Klingons went.
No, no.
We were the only 2 Klingons at Supernova in April, but the next parade we're hoping there'll be at least half a dozen of us in this outfit, so we can make a statement.
Yeah.
Kill them all.
So what are the people you work with, what do they think when they know that you're doing this? Does that get a bit of a
Oh,
reaction?
aren't they gorgeous? They've just got no idea.
No imagination.
When we had the ABC interview, I had to leave straight from work. So, of course, I had my ballot and my outfit, you know, and boobs up to here and my ridges on. Yeah, and the students that are there, the apprentices, they're just dumbstruck because they just see you walking past. It's really funny.
Scared a few people going up the lift, didn't we?
I could imagine, yes. So, like, in terms of then people, are you getting younger people or people all ages?
we get all.
They're pretty
They're
well
all
much mostly
ages.
our children,
Yeah.
the younger ones.
Yeah.
But we have new people joining all the time.
Yeah.
The more, the merrier.
Absolutely.
You
Well,
know.
thank you.
Kablah!
Absolutely. Couldn't say it better myself. I couldn't have said that at all. Thank you so much for coming in and being on the program. And in the words of Mr. Spock, live long and prosper. We wish you all the best. That was the Brisbane Star Trek and Sci-Fi Alliance. For info following the link which we have up on the screen, make sure you check out that for your action. So you'd like to get involved, find out where you're up to, whatever, you can get along there. Well, from the fascinating world of sci-fi to the big shows that are happening around town, let's check out what's happening. Direct from Cuba comes Ballet Revolution, which hits town for 4 nights only at QPAC from June 19. It's ballet dancing set to modern and contemporary music and is sure to have appeal for all ages, so don't miss this limited season. Tim Friedman and the boys from the Whitlams are back for 1 night only at the Concert Hall at QPAC. That's June 21. Don't miss one of Australia's top rock groups to take to the stage performing classics from their many studio albums with the help of Australia's only all-female orchestra. Killer Queen will be rocking out at the Racehorse Hotel on the 22nd of June and have been endorsed by original Queen guitarist Brian May. Well, it's after 8 years, Bill Oddie, 1/3 of British comedians The Goodies, returns to Brisbane on June 20 to perform at the Tivoli. It's bound to be a fun night going down memory lane, and you're even encouraged to come along as one of your favourite characters from The Goodies TV show. Australian YouTube sensations The Janoskians play an all-age music show at the Tivoli on June 22. And finally, the Jesus Christ Superstar Arena Spectacular wraps up this week with a final show at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre. That's June 18. Don't forget to stay connected through our website and Facebook page for more events. And joining us now is the band The Winter of Reason. Their music's been described as hauntingly beautiful and combines elements of bluegrass, indie pop and folk. The band will be playing for us coming up very soon, but first I'm speaking to the members, Chloe, who's the vocalist, and Jeff is on guitar. How are you both?
Good, thank you.
Well, before we let you take off to the performance area to perform for us, you've got an album coming out which is very exciting. When's that? I understand about a week or so away?
Yeah, end of June, July, hopefully.
Wow, okay, great. Well, not too far away at all. Now, how do we find out about that?
You can find out on our Facebook page, or you can find out on our website, which is www.thewinterofreason.com.
Okay, and Facebook is just under the same name?
Yep.
And Twitter as well?
And Twitter as
Why
well.
not? Yeah, check us all out. Now, around Brisbane and the Valley, I guess most people get to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And venues have been booking you up, I understand, but you've taken a bit of time out to get this album together. How long did it take you to put that down?
We've been working on it now for almost a year, so quite a while.
Yeah. And so how did you both come together?
Well, we kind of just met. I was looking for someone to write music with, and Jeff was looking for a singer. That was it.
Mutual benefit. Worked out beautifully. Great. Fantastic. Well, we certainly wish you all the very best with the album and with the various performances coming up in venues around the city and around South East Queensland. Let you go over and get ready to perform for us. And while they do, they're going to perform for us Monsters. It's The Winter of Reason. Here they are.
far when you said stop. But all these things in my head, they switch around, and I'm tugging at this old worn shirt so you turn around. But can you see those eyes in my bed? There's a monster and I'm afraid to sleep. When all the things he says looks my name in a riddle and he's bound in sheets. And can you see those eyes in my bed? There's a monster and I'm afraid he knows that everyone else is sitting there with their eyes closed. Choose your weapon. This is a war. And like a maniac I'm lucid with my arms full of pocket ribbons and sugar stones, and I'll trace it all back to this place where I saw you go. But can you see those eyes in my bed? There's a monster and I'm afraid to sleep. When all the things he says locks my name in a riddle and he's bound in sheets. And can you see those eyes in my bed? There's a monster and I'm afraid he knows that everyone else is sitting there with their eyes closed. Now we move on down where there is no sound and the water breaks, where your feet are soaked and the mattress worn under your legs. In my mother's dress I will hold your hand so close you smile. Take this all under the guise that you are mine. But can you see those eyes in my bed? There's a monster and I'm afraid to sleep. When all the things he says locks my name in a riddle and he's bound in sheets. And can you see those eyes in my bed? There's a monster and I'm afraid he knows that everyone else is sitting there with their eyes closed. Talking widows and smoking monks, I wonder how things got so far when you said stop. But all these things in my head, they switch around, and I'm tugging at this old worn shirt so you turn around.
Well, that was Winter of Reason with their song Monsters. Thanks very much, guys. And for information on the band and upcoming performances, visit their website. You can see it on the screen right now. Well, that brings us to the end of the program. And for today, we thank you so much for being with us. Make sure you join us same time next week and stay connected.